Generic greetings and welcome to Spacebots. Today's beverage is a nice hearty and warming Bovril, very nice indeed. So Spacebots is a prototype about a space robot building and programming game. It's the second in the series of the Introversion Crystallis Fail Masterclass series, where in a YouTube video they go through and explain what they were working on, when they were working on it, the design decisions, the overall goals, and I guess ultimately the reasons why they decided that this game was not going to work, and then the reasons for its abandonment. I've shown the first game in the series, Order of Magnitude, which was another space game, but I wanted to check this one out because it has some interesting visual programming stuff, and I thought it would be quite an interesting thing to look at. Now, as always, there's links in the description for not only the video of them going through, like I said, the reasons why they abandoned it and some of the design decisions, etc., but also to the store page, where if you wanted to, you can buy in to try not just this prototype out, but also the other ones that are going to be released. This is not in any way, shape or form a sponsored video, I want to make that clear. However, all the proceeds do go to War Child, so it's more of a signal boost for a good charity and a good cause. Either way, let's jump in and I'll show you a little bit of the game. As I said, this is a prototype, an unfinished one at that, so I guess, is there such thing as a finished prototype? Anyway, either way, this is obviously a prototype that ultimately doesn't work for whatever reason, so we're not going to have any endgame, there's no sound, and there's, I guess, fundamental issues with the game, so we're not expecting any sort of review here, but hopefully just, like I say, a bit of an interest in going through it. We're going to go to scenarios, and we'll go to the basic gathering. I'm not going to go through every single one, but we will check out a few of them, a fair number hopefully. Let's go to basic gathering here. So quick rundown through the eye. In the center main playfield we have our mothership here, and we also have some minerals around that. Top left and going down we'll have all of our robots. We'll check that out in a moment. Objectives are shown on the top there. Time controls and resources in the smallest possible font in the top right, and we have some viewing angles which really doesn't do anything at this stage. Either way, we can see at the top a basic gathering objective. Use robots to gather all minerals. To spawn robots, click the plus next to the robot icon. To program those robots, click on the robot icon directly. So if we wanted to, we can go 1, 2, 3 and build 3 of these robots, and there we have the sort of cutesy looking robots there, which are currently doing absolutely nothing, and the reason for that is they do not have any programming. So we click on the robot, we can see it's called the Gatherer here, and it says suggested program, flight nearest, grab, flight mothership, give. So we got some pseudo code there, and we have the commands and the logic. So we got some visual programming stuff where we can say, right, well, I want these robots to go to the minerals, I want to grab it and bring it back to the mothership. So we can say fly to, we can click and drag and drop it in the main order sequence here, and it says fly to, and then we'll say nearest, nearest, like that, and it's currently on asteroid. I'll hold left click, and I want to actually say, in this particular case, minerals, because that's what those are. I then want to grab the minerals, I then want to fly to the mothership, and then I want to give those minerals, and if I commit the code it will update that, and there you go. These robots are now continuing on to do basically what I've told them to do, and thankfully it worked in the first instance. So they're going to grab that, and then they're going to head back to the mothership. We can request more robots because obviously we're gathering these minerals, and that allows us to build more robots. I think the idea was that you start off very small with your mothership and a couple of robots, and then once you get towards the latter part of not just these scenarios, but I'm guessing in the full, what would have been a campaign mode, it's more system wide, where you have multiple robots with lots of orders building loads of stuff, and then you have to deal with an ancient evil that arises again, because that's generally what you do when you really don't know what an endgame is. Anyway, we're going to go to request infinite robots of that type and put it to ×10 speed, and this is just going to build the robots and basically, yeah, go full on replicator and build as many as it possibly can with the resources available. We're currently on 17 robots, 18, 19, and there you go, we're pretty much maxed out on robots, and there are no more resources around. So let's go to the next one, and this is basic mining. These minerals are locked up in asteroids which must be drilled first. So we need to create a second robot, so we're going to press the plus here, and we now have another robot. We will go into that and we'll rename the robot to, we've currently got the Gatherer, we'll go for the Miner, and we need to then build the robot and do the commands. So at the moment it has the sensors and the main body of the robot, so we need to say let's give it a drill, and we'll put a drill there, and we need to have it we need to move it, so we'll have an engine on the bottom there, and then we also need a battery which will go in there, and that should be enough to make it go around and do the thing. So fly to, and then we'll go to nearest, and it'll say asteroid. That is fine because these are the asteroids when we zoom in here in the background. And then I'll say drill, and that's basically it. I'll commit that. I'll build 2 of those and say 5 of the gatherers, and what will happen is these robots will head off to the asteroids, and then they will blow those asteroids up, or drill them, I guess, and then the robots, the other ones, which I would have thought when you mouse over these it would tell you the type of robot. That would have been a bit more useful, but let's not get overly analytical for a prototype. And you can see now that these are getting mined, all of the resources are coming off that, and then the other robots are going to do their own thing. So we'll build a couple more of the miners, and we'll just go for maximum amount for the gatherers there, and let them crack on. You can alter the robots like this while they are... you can just alter them and build them as is. I don't know if they go back to update themselves or not, but either way. Actually, should we find out? If I put another battery in, do they actually go back and do their thing? No, it doesn't look like they do, but no big drama there, and commit there, job done. So yeah, they're going to gather all that and go back and forward, and I think that should be that scenario pretty much done. What else could we have done in order to improve it? I mean, we could get another drill. Maybe that'll work a bit better. So we'll put another drill on the arm. You can see when I place things on here, it shows you the revisions, the cost, the mass, and the battery and stuff. I'm assuming that I'm assuming that either the batteries can run out, or the plan was that the batteries can run out, so they're stranded and you have to rescue them, or you have to then charge them up when there's things further away, which obviously allows you to then, well, I say allows you, it's more forces you to then build more robots and fuel things up and have like sort of intermediary systems and such. Either way, you can see now that the miners have basically finished their job, they have nothing else to do. So I'm going to just put those to 0. They'll come back and get recycled now into more gatherers. So there you go, another simple one there. We're not going to wait for this to finish gathering because I think we understand what's going on here. We'll go to next, and this is the cargo bots. Use storage modules. You can see that's warped in there. Use storage modules on your gather bots to gather the resources much more efficiently. Hint, once you have a good design, click on the I button next to the robot to create infinite numbers, which we've done. So we're going to go to our gatherers, and we have things like put in cargo and transfer cargo and some other logic there as well. Again, we have a suggestion there, which is now using if then else. So we'll go for storage 1, 2, and then 3 we can get in there. I'd maybe get another battery as well, because why not? And you know what? Let's treat ourselves to a... Do we want another engine? I don't know whether we're just making this... I think we're probably making that overly complicated. Let's just put it back to that. That should do it. So we still have our programming in here, which should work. But if we use our logic, then we'll go if, and then we can drag down the end to include some of our other stuff here. So we'll say then if, let's say if there is... If the cargo is not full, we could say empty, but I'm going to go with not full. I want to fly to the nearest minerals and grab it and then put it in cargo. Do I need that, or can I just say put in cargo? I might be able to just say put in cargo. So if it's not full, do that. But if it is full, we'll say else. Will that work? Hang on, is that right? Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of all this. It just seems to be end, and then we'll go else. So if this... that's what I was meant to do. So if the cargo isn't full, go to the minerals and put in the cargo. Else, fly to mothership, transfer cargo. Commit, and a couple of miners, and we'll say 5 gatherers. So as before, the other robots, the mining robots, are going to head out, and they're going to start mining these asteroids here. And then if we zoom in, you can see these guys are... Oh, they're actually heading over to the left. So they are going to go ahead and grab... Oh, look at that. They are mining... I think they're mining a bit better now because they've got double mining power. That might not be the case, but either way. They're going to go over there, and they are going to... Oh, they are very, very confused. So they've tried to execute, and they have actually successfully executed some of the code. So they've right, the cargo is not full. So they've then flown to the nearest minerals, but then they don't know what to do. I'm going to assume then that I need to grab and then put in the cargo. We'll commit that, updates it, and then that's exactly what it was, yeah. So they're going to these minerals, they're grabbing it, and then they're putting it in their cargo, and once that is, well, I was going to say once it is full, they'll go and drop it off, but that's not technically true. It's a case of if the cargo is not full, I guess is it the same sort of logic? It probably is, but the logic is written as if it's not full, then go and drop it off. So yeah, we could say if full, drop it off, else go and pick it up. It would be the same thing. It would work exactly the same, but there you are. So pretty good. Let's just max speed this out. I'm going to go for, once again, infinite robot types there, and I'm actually going to build a couple more miners. We can see on the right we've got consume all materials, consume all asteroids, and collect stuff for like our different optionals, but you know, not concerned about that one. Although, to be fair, you could I think one of the reasons why they abandoned it is they really didn't have like an end game. Like, was the moment to moment of this fun? And I like this so far, and I've played a lot of these types of programming games. I mean, things that spring to mind. Got Duskers, which is like a programming exploration game. Quadrilateral Cowboy. I think is it Human Resource Machine or something like that. There's several games I've played where you do programming in it, and it can get quite tedious. This one, I don't know where the end game would be. I mean, you could go with a more puzzle element style, couldn't you, with this one, where it's right. Well, you need to do these objectives and do that. Well, I guess another programming would be things like TS 100. Yeah, I mean, there's loads of different those type of things. Anyway, next, basic fabrication. So design a fabricator robot that can take metal from the mothership and use to fabricate robots. So we have these solar bots there, which require building. I can zoom in and just see a triangle, but we might get something else later on. Can I actually alter the angle? I can alter the angle, but it actually makes absolutely no appreciable difference when we haven't got... Oh, you can see the orbits altering. There you go. Anyway, so we are going to create another robot. We could, if we wanted to... clone them, I guess. Yeah, you could duplicate them, but I think we'll just make it from scratch. So this is going to be the fab robot. It's really good. It's a fabricator. So we have a fabricator on one side. I mean, you could I guess put it. Can you move the center? No, you can't. I mean, you could put that down there and up there. No. I mean, there's no reason why I can't put the head on the side. But yeah, we'll put it there. We'll have a engine on the bottom. We will have a battery. So I guess technically that would that work actually? Take metal from the mothership and use to fabricate other robots. Yes, that would work, but it can only carry... Oh, actually, no, I probably need an arm because I need to carry. Yeah, I need to grab stuff. You can see as I put these bits on the robot, we gain options for the different commands and for the logic. So we'll need an arm to grab and an arm to pick stuff up and a welding arm, basically. But we can only grab one thing. So I'm going to put some storage in here. Like that. And another battery. And we will say, if cargo is empty, then fly to mothership, request cargo, metal, else fly to nearest you can see you've got things like jump fuel, rocket fuel, surface facility, human, alien. So indication of the sort of things that they were looking at putting in. There's fabrication. Then use fabricator. I think that's about right. Commit that. We will build 2 of those, and let's see if they're going to work. Yeah, so already they have grabbed the metal. Then you can see it's hovering below these robots here. They're now heading up to the solar bot, and they're starting to build that, and that's now built. And because they've got resources, they're going to continue on to the other solar bot but they've run out of resources. So once again, looking at the logic, if the cargo is empty, so it goes straight to this, fly the mothership and request metal. Good. So it works, unlike most of the programming that I've ever done in my life. I'm assuming it's going to go south at any moment and crash the entire game and wipe my hard drive, but we'll see how this goes. And there we go. We have another telescope, and then they don't actually know what to do, because I guess, could you do nested ifs? Yes, you can. You can nest them. So it would be things like, if there's not, things like, right, if there is, or if exists, essentially, fabrication, go to it, else just go back and sit near the mothership. You could do something like that, I guess. But actually, I don't know if you can, because I think there was a deliberate decision made to keep the commands and logic to the bare minimum, not to overwhelm the player, which is a fair point, well made. Next, let's see what this one. This is mass fabrication. Use your drillers, gatherers, and fabricators to gather and construct a large orbital solar array around this planet. So we have all of these solar bots around here, and this actually shouldn't really require much. This actually shouldn't require anything other than our current robots. So I've told them to go, and I've built some miners, 4 miners, and some gatherers. I'm going to go up to 10 gatherers, and then I'll start building some fabricators. But obviously, this will require us to gather the resources first before we can crack on building this. You can see we are actually slowly orbiting this this planet as well. This is the planet Debug. No, it's a planet which has temperature, water, gravity, radiation, atmosphere, pressure, toxins, and also microbes, plants, and trees. I keep pressing escape, by the way, to do that. Right, so how are we getting on for this? We are wanting a couple more of those, probably a couple more of those, and I'd say infinite gatherers as well. So should we build some more? I think we can probably build some more. And as you can see, we're now managing to build this huge array. So we started off with a very sort of small scale operation where we just collect some resources, and now with our 3 robots with very simple programming, we've now managed to make a mothership that is automatically going round and destroying asteroids, gathering resources, and building this thing here. And you can probably extrapolate out to see the sort of things that you can do. So you'll have a ship that can jump in, set up different automations and routes, and just start fire all of these drones to do whatever tasks that we have assigned them, which obviously can include like building huge orbital structures, fighting off different enemies, and maybe even other motherships and stuff. So that is going to be a fairly decent. I think we need. I was going to say, do we need more gatherers? But we've got 100 gatherers so far. Yeah, there's. I can't remember what. There's a couple of games where you do use drone ships, and there's like hundreds, if not thousands, of entities on it. But I don't think you program the drones in particular. But yeah, let's go for a couple more fabricators. I'm going to go for 20 fabricators there. You noticed I haven't built many more miners. I'm going to build a couple more. I don't think we need them though, because these miners are so efficient. Oh, look at all them streaming over here to sort that out. Fair enough. Okay, what we're going to do is actually go back to the main menu and go to scenarios here, and you can see there's other ones you can do. So we've went up to, I think, planetary defense. We've got orbital defense, which is a massive attack of hostile robots is imminent. Use your fabricator robots to build static missile turrets on the planetoids. So we now have a build option here where we can build a missile turret like this, and then some solar as well. 1, 2, 3. So I've ordered the building of that. So I'll say once again we'll have a couple of miners, we'll have probably 10 of the gatherers, and then a couple of fabricators, and then we'll max speed this out. I think we can we move our, yes, we can actually move our mothership. There we go, our big drone ship here, and you can see the orbit actually increases as well. So there you are. Anyway, so we are gathering all of the resources, and I've ordered the building of these on the planets. It says destroy all hostiles. I'm zooming out to try and see where the hostiles are, and you can see you can zoom out pretty infinitely. Supreme Commander has nothing on this apparently. Other games with very large zoom out levels are available. But yeah, let's go for a couple more fabricators. I'm going to go for 20 fabricators. I'm going to build a couple more. I don't think we need them though, because these miners are so efficient. Oh, look at all them streaming over here to sort that out. Fair enough. Actually, I don't know if that's true. Anyway, we have fabricators that are now fabricating. Yeah, they're actually cracking on with these. So we'll go for a couple more of those, a couple more miners, and then infinite amounts of gatherers. So there you are. So they're now cracking on, building all of this. And are we going to get the enemies? It says destroy all hostiles, 0 left, but I don't know when they turn up. So anyway, I will go to building and to our missile turrets, and because these are orbiting, obviously it's important that we build them in the right place. There we go. And I'll just let them, I'll just let them crack on with the building of that. I think 1, 2, 3, 4 more fabricators. And do we need more gatherers? I think more gatherers tends to be the thing we need to focus on. Although then again, we don't know what sort of attack we're going to be under there. As I said, in terms of endgame stuff, I'll show you some of the latest scenarios. You do have some weird aliens, which you saw on the main intro screen. And I think you also converse other drone ships. But I mean, oh, hang on. It does say now, yeah, we have some enemies. We have some incoming. We have these guys coming towards us now. All right. Yeah, I don't know whether it would be focus it on more puzzle game, because the actual programming stuff, it seems to be, well, all of it's functional. But I think the main concern is, was it fun? And yes, so far it is. How long that would last, couldn't say. Couldn't say. And whether or not it was more of a sandbox thing, or whether it be very specific scenarios based on more of a puzzly type focus. So you would have to, said, destroy hostiles or work on a certain type of product and get something done within a particular time frame. All of it could be, all of it potentially would function. I'm going to get our, I'm trying to get our main, I'm trying to click on our mothership. There's the mothership here, and I'm going to tell it to go over there, please. Go. No. It's not working. Why no move? Mothership. Can't click and drag. Boo. Mothership. Ah, as soon as you move your... As soon as you use WSD, it breaks. Okay, whatever. We can see now that we have these drones with nothing to do, weirdly, because we're still waiting for the miners to crack on. But we now have these drones coming in. I've unpaused it here. And they are looking, it looks like they're attacking the colony. I have no idea what their objective is other than they are just hostile. So I guess they're going to head down, and hopefully these guns over here will be able to shoot them. But we'll see. In fact, hang on, is there some shots going out there? No, they're just fabricators. But there's the shots coming from these missile turrets. Yeah, sending out, and boom! Right, we're now actually starting to destroy some of these guys. So I'll just unpause it there, and you can see that we're now shooting all of these. The problem being that obviously these are orbiting around, and we've got to a point where, sadly, we're not getting much in range. Where are our miner robots? They are the blue ones. Are they stuck? Are they out of power? Oh, hang on. Hang on. Oh, there we go. He's out of power. I said earlier that I don't know if you can run out of power, and looks like yes, you can. So the mining robots are actually out of power. There's another one up there. Right. So that's what's happened there. That's why they have not been cracking on blowing the other stuff up, because they are actually out of power. So it's good to know that that is a thing. So yes, you would have to focus on building like either better bits. And actually, can I just cheat? Can I just cheat and put another battery on? Let's see. Commit. No. Glad we can't. All right, fair enough. Right, let's go back over to the scenarios here, and we've done that one there, the orbital defense there. Was it orbital defense or planetary defense? Yeah, we've done that one there. We've got many other scenarios we could look at. We've got mine the planet and moon. We've got terraform. So terraforming, similar thing. We'd have to gather resources. So let's go for a couple of miners, several of the gatherers, and then also some fabricators. And this is the planet here where we'd have to terraform it. So we'd have to build things like an oxygen tower and a water pump. So we would put like a water pump on here, gather water, bring it to these oxygen towers, and obviously we do need to power this up. We've got solar and a battery. We'll have solar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And can I move that? I can actually just right click and remove it. And then I think you have to have relays to connect these up. So we'll have a relay there, relay there and there. We're going to work our way around and then over onto here. And that should connect all that up. So we've ordered the building of that. Whether or not they can go and do it, I'm not too sure, because I think the robots require. You can see we've now got things like a booster. So the booster, I think, is that just a booster that allows them on the planet? I think so. But we also have things like, well, we've got an engine, we've got our booster, which I think allows them to land on the planet, which we'll put on our. Oh, can we put it on our fabricator? I think not. Unless you put it inside, I really don't know. But we also have things like explosives now. So you can make essentially suicide robots where they'll go towards the enemy and then blow up. So you've got, again, more options for the drones. And we've got things like, oh yeah, land and take off and such. So we'd have to update our code and either be a bit more careful about the if statements and say, look, if there's if there's like stuff on the planet to do to build, then probably go for things like land on nearest planet, build and then take off, things like that. Or we could specifically build a drone for planetary building, which is probably what I'll do. I think you can also build with your, let's have a quick look. You'll need 8 functioning oxygen towers to let's see if I can click on the mothership and then click over there. Yeah, we'll get down here. I'm sure I can land on it. Yes, I've told them to land. So we're now landing with the drones. But the other drones you can see are stranded. But the ones that are now landed with this, they're actually going ahead and they're going to build these things here. But the other ones can't take, these guys can't take off. If I just put a booster on it, would it work? There's only one way of finding out. Commit. Well, I've put that on there, and yes, so it does look. It automatically updates the robots, and they can now. Right, that's good to know. Actually, we've updated these gatherers with. I'm going to do the same with the miner. Actually, we've updated the gatherers with this booster to allow them to take off and land on planets. But we didn't have to tell them to take off and land. They just understood that that was where the things are. I guess if you were building something very specific, you would want to focus on maybe, going for, as I said, more space stuff or more ground stuff, and then you would focus on one rather than the other. So they are building they're building this stuff over here, which is good. I'm going to request some more fabricator robots, and in fact, as before, request a load more of these gatherers. We are on max speed here, so it might take some time. It says you'll want at least 8 functioning oxygen towers to terraform in a reasonable time. Once you've terraformed, though, you can then have things like a new home where you have people on. This is a terraform planet. You can see we've got atmosphere and oxygen, pressure, no toxins, and some life. And I think we can alter the sliders on here, so you can alter the sliders based on, for more water, for more toxin. Oh, good grief. It's a modern shooter. Very naughty shooter, and up and down. And you can alter things like the scales of things and, all of that for the planet. Cool. But you can then settle on planets, and you have to take off. Oh, there's one called Sol. We'll have a look at Sol, because we can. So scenarios, Sol. And takes a little bit of a while to load up. So there is our sun, and that's Sol with the moon. Yeah, and then we've got Mars, Venus, Mercury, asteroid belt, Saturn, all that sort of stuff. All right, fair enough. But as I said, there's one of them here, mine the planet, fuel depot, Is it the fuel? No, it won't be the fuel depot. Build a fuel refinery and collect minerals and yeah. Oh, there's a refinery over there. So you'd have like staging points, I guess, for your drone ship because it can only go so far. Doomed colony. That doesn't sound very good. But there's no one actually on here. But once you've terraformed it, you get life on there, and yeah, I mean, I can understand like the reasons for them to stop it because I can imagine that the programming stuff is sort of niche, and it's one of those things that it's a point where you may get to a certain stage and you can't continue for a lack of experience or will. Like you might just not be that interested in the program, which I guess you probably won't check the game out, to be fair, so a bit of a redundant statement. But there'll be a point where you'll be hitting your head against a brick wall and you won't be able to really, you'll experiment, but you might not get anywhere, and that may obviously initiate a fairly state because you've run out of resources or whatever. In terms of the like end game, I can't really see what it would be. I mean, yes, you start off small, gathering resources, building stuff, and then obviously end up with terraforming, and it would be quite interesting to see the evolution of that and see you having to build staging points and have different planetary bodies and even different sectors where you'd have to go from one place to another. One may have more resources, you'd have like different transfer points and all of that, and all your defense set up and everything. But what is the goal other than doing that? Are you just like a machine that is doing that because it's been programmed to do it, and it ends up being the horrible AI that basically takes over the galaxy? Whether or not you could introduce a story element of, maybe this is the last colony ship that humans had made, or this is the last drone ship that humans have made, the last surviving, or the last hope for a colony or a species where it's sent out to do this, to then terraform to allow these people to come and grow. So I mean, I think there's loads of ways they could have gone with it, but ultimately decided not to. But there you are. That is just a little bit of Spacebots. As I said, it's quite interesting. I do quite enjoy the coding stuff. Don't know how long I would be interested in that. I've played other games which do require coding and stuff, and a lot of them do tend to fall out with it at a certain point. There's only a couple that I have completed, and most of those are not reliant, or rather, if they're reliant on the programming stuff, they also are like a platformer or have other elements in it. So yeah, that is a bit of Spacebots. If you want to check it out, then as I said, there will be links in the description for not only the video explaining what went on with the development, etc., but also to get the prototypes themselves. If you have any ideas for maybe what they could have gone with it, which way they could have gone with it, what extra elements could have added, whether or not you just would enjoy it or not, then by all means pop it in the comments, get a discussion going. It would be nice to hear your thoughts on that one. Either way, we're going to leave it there for now. That's been a bit of Spacebots, and let's just see what the next prototype brings. It may be another space game, it may not. Either way, hopefully it will be quite interesting as well to take a look at that. As always, hope you have enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.